Okay, does anyone else have a friend that just like doesn't like you?
If this topic was a subject in school, I promise I would have the highest GPA. I don't know why I always end up with some spiteful besties, but one thing about me, if you're not bringing me peace, I'm cutting you off. So instead of giving these nobodies a story time, I'm just gonna give y'all red flags and friends. So, in no particular order, if you share an accomplishment with a friend and they're not happy for you should be scared. Number two, if you have your own friends and your friend has their own friends, that's fine. But if your friend has a problem with you having your own friends while they have their own friends, babe, it's either we have it together or we don't. Why do you want what I have but I can't have what you have? Make it make sense. Number three, boys. If you express interest in a guy and now all of a sudden this friend has affiliation with them, for example, oh, this guy's so cute, like I like him or I'm feeling him. Oh, yeah, I know him, we used to talk. Or it'll be, oh, yeah, we've kissed before. Or he's so nice, he messages me, like, or worst case scenario, they end up following each other or having each other on socials or just becoming friends in general. Like, why do you not have affiliation with this man after I expressed it? Hmm? Number four, compliments. Compliments, compliments, compliments. Listen, don't ever expect compliments from anybody. You should be the person boosting yourself up the most. But if you have a friend that has the ability to compliment other people, their friends, people around them, whether it's on social media in real life, and they can express that to you, that's really telling. That's very telling. Because if my friends look good, I'm going to tell them. So I look good. Why aren't you telling me? Sounds so shallow to say, but I'm telling you right now, if you have a friend like this, you should be keeping a close eye. Number five, I think. But if you're out with this friend or maybe a group of friends and you get complimented and they try to like take away from that compliment by making a joke or just expressing something that would embarrass you or even making you the butt of the joke or just making you feel dumb for saying things that are very normal, they're a bully. They are spiteful. Number six, let's say you have a new interest in something and you express it to this friend, and they either one, make you feel dumb for it, or two, now they have the same interest, but they have to have it better than you. They're competing with you. And this one should be obvious, but some girls seem to miss it for some reason. But for number seven, if y'all take pictures together and you clearly don't like the way you look in one of them, but they're like, oh, I look so good, and they still feel the need to post it, babe, they're trying to embarrass you. They want to embarrass you. I feel like there's so much that I'm missing, but I can't think of everything right now. So if you want to hear more red flags and friends, let me know.
Let's talk about those friends who copy everything you do down to the T. Let's talk about those friends it's beneficial to be your friend. Let's talk about those friends if you going through something and your so-called friend gonna make a tweet on Twitter and be like, oh, it could never be me doing this or doing that. And it's referring to your situation. Y'all don't be real friends. Like, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about how y'all be befriending bitches y'all look up to make y'all self feel better and do weird shit to them. Let's talk about how y'all will repost somebody else's picture before you even repost your own friend picture. Cause you don't want nobody else to, like men, y'all be so boy crazy. You won't repost your friend picture cause you so scared of other men on your page gonna go for all that. Y'all, this shit is getting weird and crazy and scary out here. And you know what? It's just y'all gotta do better. Y'all have to be better people for y'allself. Not even just better friends. Y'all got to be better for y'allself. Then we need to be mindful of women being our friends to get somewhere else in life. Like, I done had a girl come around me just by who I was around, and I didn't notice the bigger picture till she started just doing weird shit. Like, this girl was talking like me, walking like me, whatever I wore, like she was doing. Or like, yeah, we just have to be mindful who we let in our circle, who we let our energy to. Because these bitches, they ruthless out here. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, they something else. I'm not even lying. And we grown now, so somebody copying us, that shit's scary. It can be intimidation, it can be jealousy, it can be anything. Y'all just be mindful, y'all circle. Just be mindful who you letting y'all girls are envious, they're jealous, they're haters. Everything. They will want your whole life and still be around you. Like, bitch, get the fuck on. Like, yeah, for real, I'm scared to make friends, like new friends. And we ain't been locked in, like, that shit over with. It be too much. It be too much secret animosity, too much, just too much.
Okay, last time talking about this story because y'all keep asking me about it, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. So this story happened back in 2016, I think. I know I was like a senior in high school, so it had to be 2016. All right, so I was really good friends with this one girl. We were like really close. My mom had already told me like she does not think this girl is my friend, but I wasn't listening. I thought this girl was my friend. So we did not live in the same town. She lived like an hour away, so we would drive to see each other like on the weekends and just hang out and all this stuff. Now, here's some backstory so that you don't get confused on where I'm going with this, okay? Me and the girl, we both were cheerleaders, but she ended up not making the team one year, and I made it. So she told me she was not going to come support me if she didn't make the cheerleading team because I made the cheerleading team, and we're in 2 different districts in 2 different cities, okay? Now, I made homecoming court my senior year. She told me, because her homecoming announcement was a week before mine, she told me if she does not make homecoming court, she's not coming to support me at my homecoming. If I get announced on the homecoming court, she's not coming to visit me. So now that you know a little background on the things that she used to do and say, now you kind of see where I'm going with this. Okay, so fast forward. My parents ended up buying me a car, and they surprised me with it. I was so happy. All my other friends were there. They were super happy. Like, they jumped in the car. We were all really, really excited. She got in the front seat of my car and was like, I don't like this kind of car. Why do y'all like these type of cars? This car is ugly. And then y'all, fast forward a month later, she invited me to the beach with them. She told me in the car, oh, I had my dad go make me test drive a car just like yours because I really like it and I really wanted it. So as far as like clothing, y'all remember those shoes, Chacos? Okay, I used to have some of those. If you don't know, look them up. Okay, those used to be the shoes back in the day, okay? Especially in South, hometown type of living. Yeah, we loved them. Anyway, so I had a couple pairs of those. She was like, those shoes are hideous. That is ugly. Why do you guys like those ugly shoes? And guess what? 2 weeks later, she called me. She was like, hey, what's the name of those shoes again? I really like those. I really want some of those shoes that you had. So here's another point, because this is going to be very valid too. She was very, very mean to her mother. Like, it became a point to where I went to go talk to her mom, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to apologize to her on behalf of her because she's so rude to you. And I understand why she's so mean to you. Like, you're her mama. I don't get why she's so mean. Her mom was like, I'm used to it. That's just how she is. Like, I'm not paying it any attention. I was like, yeah, but that's crazy. Okay, take a pause right there because you're going to need this. Let's go back. She spends the night at my house. It was one Friday. I ended up falling asleep. We both fell asleep. You know, normal things. I'm fast asleep. Didn't hear a thing. Normally, I don't wake up. I may wake up. Whatever. So, the Holy Spirit goes, wake up. Just clear as day, just like that. And I'm like, why would I wake up? Like, why am I waking up right now? And the Holy Spirit was like, don't move. Lay here. And just listen. And I'm like, what am I listening for? You know, want to argue. I'm like, what am I listening for? Like, no, I'm about to go back to sleep. It was like, no, listen. Her phone starts ringing. She puts the phone on speakerphone. Mind you, she's laying in my house. No, because I need somebody to study this and tell me why you can go to Miami as friends and come back not friends, because this is something that I really want to talk about. I was about to go somewhere, but now I'm about to talk to y'all. Let me tell y'all. So I ended up going to Miami with some girls. I had already knew them. Well, okay, let's run it back. I knew one of the girls, okay, and we have been knowing each other for a little minute. We were like social media friends. You know, that friend that you never really see ever. You never ever see that person, and then y'all decide to meet up. So basically what happened was, it was around my birthday. I don't know how old I was turning. I think I was 22, maybe 22, had to be. So it was a little minute ago. I remember her saying like, oh, we're gonna go to Miami, make it your birthday trip, like let's just go. I'm gonna invite some of my girls, you can invite your friends if you want to. I was like, no, I'm just going by myself, since it was so last minute. It was like the week before, you know, all this was going down. Mind you, we were all in the same sorority, so I'm thinking it's gonna be great, it's gonna be fun, handy dandy, it's gonna be great. I drive all the way down to them, which was a total of like 4 hours. I'm the one that had the SUV. I asked my mom if I can get the SUV. I ended up driving the SUV to their location. When I arrived, it was really late at night, like really late. So when I made it there, the girl that invited me was so happy, like, oh my God, I get to see you in person. This is crazy, you know? But it was still kind of awkward. You know, when you first meet your social media friend in real life, like, it's kind of weird, even though y'all talk. Y'all get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? I ain't even got to go there with you. So I go inside. Nobody else is really being friendly, so she was like, y'all can speak, like, say hey. And I was like, hey, you know, you black people, you walk in, you say hey, how y'all, you know, whatever. So I sit down, and it's really awkward. Like, the tension is really, really awkward in the room. But I'm like, maybe it's because they don't know me, I don't know them, but we're about to go on a vacation, so maybe it won't be so awkward. So we didn't even go to sleep. We all stayed up. They were packing their bags. We were like, okay, we're leaving in like a few. So we ended up catching our flight that morning. It was like 5 a.m. or something like that. So we get to the airport. things were okay. Like, we really weren't all talking that much, but we weren't like not talking. So we all did like a little boomerang. We're like, okay, we're about to have some fun. So we flew out from New Orleans and ended up going to Miami, because where I was going was quicker for them to go, for me to drive that extra, I think, hour and like change to the airport in New Orleans, and then we kind of went from there. And that's basically what we did. As we're on the flight, of course, none of us sat beside each other. I sat beside a girl at that time. She lived in Atlanta. I was not living in Atlanta at that time. So she bought me drinks. She was like, you seem cool. You seem like a good vibe. Like, we're all going to Miami. Like, let's have some fun. She bought me like 3-4 rounds. I was like, I can get around. She was like, girl, just chill. Like, enjoy your vacation. I got you. Cool, girl. Shout out to you, girl, if you see this. We're drinking. By this time, you know, it's a quick little flight, you know. So by the time we get off the plane, we make it to Fort Lauderdale. We didn't go straight to Miami. We get off. As we get off, they're like, oh, you're lit. I'm like, well, I'm feeling good. Like, I feel a little tipsy. Like, the girl beside me was super cool. The girl gave me a hug and was like, let's exchange numbers. If I meet up with y'all, like, I will. But she was going out there to see her man. Everybody kind of has like a weird type of vibe at me. I don't know what it is. I'm being nice to everybody. Okay, so we get to the car rental service place. So we did the car rental thing. We sent the money to one of the girls. We get there in front of the lady. She's like, yes, y'all owe like $780 something. What's how we owe money? We already sent money to her. There should be no money. Oh, so me and the girl that invited me looked at each other and was like, how we still owe money? Like, we've already paid you. Like, what's going on? She was like, no, like, I know y'all paid me, but like, I don't think it was covered or enough. Like, well, you should have told us that we needed more money instead of not telling us. Now we standing here now, how you still owe $7.
Y'all ever had a friend that was delusional as fuck?
So I had a friend like this, and I learned kind of the hard way that you should stop lying to them. She had met this guy on Hinge and started telling me how he was like obsessed with her, always wanted to talk to her, always texting her, all of these things. And I was like, okay, great, but let's slow it down, because she had this pattern of doing this thing with her guys she met on Hinge or even her guy best friend. And then when they would stop talking to her or ghost or whatever, she would completely spiral, have a bad mental health break essentially. And then I would have to help her kind of pick up the pieces. So I just wanted her to slow down. So fast forward, she meets with this guy on Hinge a couple of times. They hang out, but then he ends up either not talking to her as much anymore, and I think at one point he tells her right off the bat that he's not interested in having a relationship with her. She spirals again, and I end up having to figure out a way to call her landlord to do a welfare check, because it was really, really bad. So then I go home for summer break, and we are going to dinner. We're driving back home, and then she says, oh, this is actually where he lives. Let's pull up to his apartment. I'm like, what? So she's like, I just want to, just pull up to his apartment really quick. I'm like, why do we want to pull up to his apartment? Like, we don't need to do that. She's like, I just want to see something. I just want to see something. So I'm like, okay. So we pull up. She's like, I just want to look through his window. I'm like, you want to do what? She parks her car outside of this man's house that I had never met, and she's like looking through like his window from the car at first, and like, I think that's it. The lights are on, all this other stuff. I'm just thinking like, this is a bad situation, because we're both at this point trying to get to law school, at least thinking of going to law school. So I'm not trying to get caught up stalking somebody I don't even know. So then she gets out the car and she's trying to look at this man's window. I'm like, please, let's go home. Mind you, this entire time it's her car and she's driving, so I'm just in the passenger seat. She comes back in the car and she's like, we should go to the store, get some sugar and put it in his tank. I'm like, girl, no, we can't do that. At first, I'm trying to like diffuse the situation by being like, listen, like maybe he has cameras in his parking garage, or maybe there's cameras on his car that's gonna catch us doing these things. Like, listen, we're trying to get like corporate jobs. We can't be caught out here committing crimes. She's like, you really think there's a camera, girl? Because I don't think there's a camera. Like, we really should really get some sugar and put it in his tank. I'm like, listen. Then I try another way. I'm like, girl, listen, like he doesn't even deserve you. Like all of the stuff that you say. She's like, no, we should really put sugar in his tank. Like, you need to be supportive. We need to put sugar on this man's tank. Then I'm like, listen. He just doesn't want to be with you. And he told you straight up, he was honest with you, that he did not want a relationship with you, okay? He does not deserve to put sugar in his tank because of that. I know you feel like it's a crime, but it's not a crime. And we're going to get caught up and fuck up our futures. I can't do this with you. I'm trying to go to law school. Please take me home. I just feel like at the end of the day, I learned that there are some friends that you tell white lies to, but when your friend has hit a certain level of delusion, you are only hurting them by continuing to agree.